Hey everybody. So yeah, yesterday got the form dictionary working. Now it's time to just start refactoring everything away from having the forms in the TypeScript. I feel like at this point it might make sense to actually just remove it from the TypeScript, but I don't know. I guess I'll just come in here and at least for these first couple. I know I want to make this like a const dot form, and then over here the light item doesn't have a form, but the const dot form is declared up here. And then probably at this point makes a lot of sense just to get rid of it from, I don't think there's anything else. Form data dictionary. I don't know what this is crying about. Um, it's very interesting. So it doesn't seem to like that because it's saying that this form here. Oh, so we'll do that. And then we don't even need to do the whole thing. We can just say comma form since it's the same name. Um, at this point, I think all the basically the straight up, it probably makes more sense now, probably faster and easier just to come in here, go to the interface, and just remove the form and the subscription. And then we should, then the TypeScript compiler should help us. So basically, update form is no longer the light item form, but it's the dot form data dict light item, and it is our new showtime ID. There we go. And then probably makes sense just to kind of declare it up here. Equals, not minus. And then we can just make this form here. And then we don't need that anymore. Then what is his problem? Oh, silly rabbit. Dot form. There we go. Thank you, Angular compiler. And we got a bunch of red up here. Let's come back over here. So this is, of course, I never miss an opportunity to sort of show a closure, because that's a really important concept in JavaScript. But basically, see this subscription and the value this function runs. It can run an hour later, long after this has been created, after the subscription has been created, but it still has a even though this form was created, you know, right at the beginning, and then this doesn't even run until after someone makes a change in it, it still has a reference to it. And even though this runs for every single light, so I could add three of them, not Angular, but JavaScript keeps track of, the browser keeps track of which one is which. So I don't think we need the comma. Okay, let's see. Okay, so string, it's not assignable. So do I have to like force it to be a string? Okay, so basically right now this behind the scenes is adding a whole bunch of if then statements around which let's see. Let's try that form. So it's weird that light item form value name. And then if I just change this to form value name, and then I say that it's a string, it's happy. And then same deal probably. And this is a light types. And I wonder if it's going to complain about this. Nope. Okay. Whew. You know, TypeScript, I mean, you know, nobody was more suspicious of TypeScript than me. I guarantee it. Uh, you know, as someone who I believe it was like in okay, oh, sorry. Okay, so let's change this to this. Now I've already checked that it's something, so as number. Okay, what is the complaint? Or, oh, it's supposed to be as string. Nope. Okay, so I'm trying to parse the float, which converts a string to a float. So I'm saying that that is a string, but let's see, const str angle equals this as a string. Okay, now what's your problem? I don't really know what the issue is right now. Let me make this bigger. Okay, form value angle. And it's saying that it was a number. Let me try this as unknown. Okay, so it's saying, hey, you know, that thing was a number, but it isn't. And I know that we've checked it before. Now let's see. Angle. But it's actually coming back as a string. I don't really understand that. And then I don't even know, man. I wonder if that's even going to work. This is... So I guess I'm going to have to do something very similar. imagine I'm going to have to keep doing that. But yeah, what I was talking about before was that, back in like, I want to say it was like 1994, maybe, no, it was like 1996, right after I'd graduated from college. Um, let's see, I, const, let's see, str. I was basically back then we didn't really, the internet existed, but it wasn't like nearly as um, like there just wasn't as much, especially when it came to like very technical things. A lot of basically new books would roll out, and it would take a little while for the um, for the new for the new for the stuff that was in the new book that came out to get on the internet. It was just like it was just a slow time. Um, now basically stuff's like you can't buy a book that isn't already outdated. It was sort of the other way around. You could find stuff on the internet, but it was always outdated. Um, and So basically, I was in it. Basically, Microsoft had hired a ton of people. Or at least this is a rumor. I don't know if this is 100% true, but um, I definitely experienced things that would indicate that this was true. But Microsoft had hired a ton of people to. Rumor has it that Microsoft had hired people to basically hang out in the technical section of like Barnes and Nobles and the different bookstores, and basically push people to buy like their stuff. Uh, and I was there to buy, and basically like I had like $50 a month set aside to buy books at the bookstore, and so every Friday after I got my paycheck from Boeing, I would go and um, buy a book, and every couple weeks, and so I went to go buy my book. Um, so it's happy with that. Okay, I am just totally confused. But so I went to go buy a JavaScript book because I was kind of learning how to put together a web page. Um, and a website, and this guy, just like comes up to me like totally like like kind of being at Barnes and Nobles was kind of like being at a library. You weren't really supposed to talk to people. You're just kind of supposed to sit there and enjoy the silence. And this dude just came up and he just started, totally just, hey, why are you buying that? And I'm like, I don't know. I want to learn how to do web stuff. Oh no! And he literally takes the book out of my hand and puts it back on the shelf and hands me this book on VB Script. I believe, yeah, it was VB Script, and he was like, "Oh, Internet Explorer supports VB Script, and this is the real thing. You should quit wasting your time on JavaScript." And so I took his. He was pretty convincing. I guess he had a lot of practice. Um, so I took his word for it and studied my VB strip book, which I literally never got to use any of that crap because IE very quickly after that, I believe this is how it worked out. Started supporting something called um, JScript, which wasn't JavaScript; it was JScript, and and so they weren't really supporting JavaScript. Um, but then shortly after that, they decided to start supporting JavaScript in their browser. And now, all kinds of Microsoft things. There was like this ActiveX thing. There was just all kinds of Microsoft things that they pushed out there that just ended badly. Um, so um, so I don't need this times one because I know it will have been turned into a number at that point. Um, but so there's just nobody who was more skeptical of TypeScript than me. I mean, I was just like, oh no, I guarantee. I've seen how they try to kill Java with all their stuff, and just how they would just destroy really good things. So I didn't. I was never a big believer in them. And so when I heard that TypeScript was coming out and that Microsoft was the big proponent of it, I was definitely anti. Very very suspicious. Um, anyways, but all that just to say that TypeScript's pretty good. I mean, it is good stuff. I have not seen anything. I went for the longest time wouldn't even use Visual Studio Code because I just assumed it was one of Microsoft's dirty tricks to ruin things, and I don't think it ended up being that way. I mean, it hasn't ended up being that way. It's ended up being pretty good. I wonder if all this, I hate doing this much work without knowing if it's actually going to work or not. I'm really going to be glad to get this behind me, though. It is weird because like the changes I made really should have provoked this much, this much these TypeScript errors. But and that I have definitely seen this before, where like you make a change and suddenly, like it's catching TypeScript errors that it wasn't catching before, and like this is a pain in the butt. There's just no denying that. But like it will, when there's more things. Intensity, str. Is equal to. It's just would have got worse and worse and worse. Like although I say that, and I don't even know if this is going to work. It's unknown. String. Yeah, it's so weird that because I'm already okay. Whatever. I don't know. I will be. There's probably going to be issues. This is where it would have been really nice to kind of have it the way I have it in the animations form. Position. just try to stay consistent there. Oh, I see why I did that. Okay, well. Okay. Man, okay, so it looks like there's 3 left. Let's see. Oh, that's string. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like I got 2 little sections left. Okay, so first thing I do is get rid of this. Oh, well, that's right. I start getting bored and doing things in like more creative ways after a few rounds. STRZ. I guess I was doing that. String. It's not supposed to be X, it's supposed to be Z, POS. It's not post. Z, POS. Z, POS. Alright, and I guess we can get rid of this. Didn't I do that up top? Yes, I don't even think we need that one. It's kind of funny that. What did I do different? Oh, okay. I named it a string, declared it a string, and then cast shadow. Oh, wait a second. Form. Let's see. This is upset because. So I don't even know. Because I'm saying if it even exists, then set that as a Boolean, and it's actually could be undefined. I don't know. Let's just see if that works. It'll be interesting. There's so many things that could have gone wrong there. All right, so we're just working on lights, but I won't be able to see it. So let's go ahead and take care of this. -2, width of 100, height of 100, and it is a Fong. Thank you, Mr. Fong. Add the light. That's working. Set its position to 2. That worked. Change it to spotlight. That worked. Let's see. So position, that was one of the things. Intensity was one of the things that. Yeah, so angle. Yeah, so it looks like it's all working. I have to say I'm a bit surprised. I would have thought something would have gone wrong. but it looks like everything's working. I guess making it animated. Yep, it's animated. Yeah, so that's all good. That video is 25 minutes long. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, the looks like we're done with this moving stuff. I think that was all, right? I believe all I wanted to do was move the light service into its own service, um, add this new feature. I believe it was spotlight feature, and remove the the dependence of the light interface from having a form and its own having its own uh, subscriptions in the form. So it looks like those are all done. So I probably need to commit this and then merge merge this, do like a PR, merge this into there, and after light, we will move on to scenes. I feel like there was like, okay, so there's a new feature that needs to go into scene, and that's, I believe, fog. And then I want to make scene into its own, okay, into its own, move scene into its own service. So it looks like the ThreeJS service. And then instead of this scene having or also add a Showtime ID to it. I don't think we're using the scene ID for anything, but I'm going to add the Showtime ID to it, and that should be it for the scene stuff. And then we go all the way back, I believe, to animation. Yeah, go all the way back to animations, and we kind of go through this whole process again. I thought that this was going to be the last. I thought that this, if this next one went clean. I mean, I was thinking, okay, this is probably the last round, and because I felt like everything had gone pretty clean until this Showtime ID thing came up, and so now everything as I go through the mesh and the camera, I'll add the Showtime IDs to that, and I'll probably change how mesh does its lookups to use the Showtime ID, and we'll add a new mesh, or we're going to add a new animation type. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, and then we'll add a new, mesh, which there's a bunch of. These are all primitive meshes, and there's a bunch of other primitive meshes that can come in. I don't think there was anything we could do last time on camera. So really just updating the ID, updating it to have a Showtime ID will probably be next. And then back to lights. And I'm probably going to use the ambient light next time around. And hopefully that goes nice and smooth. And then we can talk about next steps. But anyways, in the next video, I'm going to merge the light. I'm going to commit everything and merge the light round spotlight branch into the main branch, and create a new branch for the scene changes. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.